Cowabunga Ranger Talk, a hybrid Power Ranger Ninja Turtle podcast. Hey everyone, welcome to Cowabunga Ranger Talk. Today we're looking at Reignition Blue and Yellow. So with these reviews, these episodes at least, since there are so many products and stuff, I'm probably just going to review the Rangers and the Zords, but I figure today let's look at blue and yellow. So that's what we're going to be doing. Got the figures right here, got the Zords right here, so let's do it. And here we are, we got the Zords and the Rangers laid out. So let's start with the first one here, which is going to be the Triceratops. See what he's all about. This is the figure right here. The back of the box there. Glamour shot there. Zord is the key thing if you want to scan it. The rest of the line. Now we start opening. If it wants to open, 'cause there it is. For those of you wondering, yeah, it comes with a little sheet like they do for the Ninja Turtles. There's the little layout. Triceratops. Now I think this is the Zord with the least amount of stuff to it, because the T-Rex has a bunch of articulation and the others have other things, but there it is. So the head can move a little bit. At least it can do that. Which some Megazords haven't been able to do the rocker head thing. Yeah, no wheels, no nothing. Feels a little hollow, but it is what it is. Okay, so the firing mechanism. It works. So put this back on there. Another look at it. So it looks fine. Doesn't look like anything spectacular, but it'll do, it'll do. These holes, the screw holes, I'm sure a customizer can fill these in with putty and, you know, fix these little aesthetic issues, but the neck's got some ratchet to it as well. One thing I did want to note is there's a second piece of articulation, which is here. Which is, yeah, that little piece does not want to stay still. But it has actual articulation at the blaster from the holster. So it can do that right there. Well, I mean, this is something, I mean, except for that, this is pretty much a blue brick. But you can't make the Megazord without him, so. Just gonna set him up right there. See. There's the back of it. Put him to the side. As we look at the next Zord, which is right here, the saber-toothed tiger. Here's the back of it. Now, one thing to mention, these can turn into eventually the tank mode, but there's no wheels to any of it, so you won't be able to make the tank roll, which kind of sucks. Especially considering how big it is, and since this did jump an extra $5 because of the world and all its gold. It's an old song reference, but that's it here. Get them out. There it is. Still a pretty box. Here's the sheet for the Zord. Right there for the saber-toothed tiger. I didn't show this in the last one, but I'm sure they all have the same in the back, which is to form the tank mode or the Megazord mode. Even though it kind of shows it here, but still worth display because this is a video. And it's also kind of fun to see this type of stuff. Now, just initially, this can use some more paint, but it's cool. Little blaster. There. So the inside of the legs are hollow, which I don't really think you needed to do, considering, I mean, this isn't a hugely heavy figure, but it does have this, which is, I guess technically this would be like waist swivel for the Zord, because it can do this. Might want to touch up with some paint if you have some paint. Just a couple of spots to make the thing sing more. I like the sticker. The sticker is fine. This can articulate just like the Triceratops. So that's pretty cool too. The teeth on the saber-tooth moves as well. For the head doesn't move, so that's the trade-off. This one has head articulation, this one doesn't. This one has waist articulation, so there's no give here. I'm not sure what this hole is for. Like, it literally comes from the box like that. But it is a pretty big beast. There. Get this out of the way. These springs, they did a really good job with making how far this thing could shoot, because it can go pretty deep. And these are the Zords. So far, so good. I'm happy the way they look and the way they move. They're not very heavy, like I said. This isn't an import toy. This is a very basic line, but still lots of fun. There it is. Now let's put these right here as we start looking at the Rangers. So here is Trini, the yellow Ranger. There's the head sculpt. There's the little weapons for her. Let's see here. There's the little bio if you want to read it. Trini's a devoted martial artist. Both the spiritual and the physical aspects of her martial arts. In battle, she becomes a razor-sharp fighter with lightning reflexes. Her signature weapons are the power daggers. As a Power Ranger, Trini's power comes from her Dino Zord, the saber-toothed tiger, her name, skill level, personality, weapons, Dino Zord, stuff like that. There's the head flipping feature. Want to see that? One thing I'll say too, and I think I've mentioned it in other videos, they could have done more than just the generic glamour shots. They could have gotten a couple people to take some more pictures of it in the Ranger costumes for the toys and production, but whatever. Yes, this is sealed, so it doesn't come in the open thing that the male figures do, which I prefer it like this, because with this, I've seen a lot of them in hand that are all scuffed up or scratched up because people are like flipping with it or messing with it, or even in packaging, you open the box and you might scratch it, and this is more protected, so I like it like this better. She comes pretty zipped up too, so there, got her out. Skinnier body. The swivel pegs are up pretty high, so she can do that. It's the foot I have to rotate because it almost comes in looking a little off. Unless mine came like, yeah, mine came with the feet a little unaligned, which kind of sucks considering these were supposed to be $10 figures and they've jumped up to 13. This foot is fine, but this one, you can see it's not even. And I was trying to rotate it, maybe it was that, but if I rotate it, then the hinge moves here, so it's not even. Ideally, I think it's supposed to, the left foot's supposed to be like that, but which is a disappointment. Let's move on from that. The arms can do a 360. There's hands, so the hands can do a 360 as well. Elbow cuts. This I have seen in other reviews, and I was hoping it wasn't for mine. That gets a little stuck, but the hands have a faded out yellowish smudge here. I think that's every figure type of thing, which is another disappointment for the figure. The abdomen on the girls, it's pretty apparent. I think the original line, the head flippers, they had that you could morph flipping with the morpher, and I think that was the best way to do it. I don't like flipping it from the back because that's what these do, and it's thinned out because the girl body has only one spring mechanism. So if I do that, wow, that head is really not Trini. That looks like someone else. Is there head articulation? Yes, but you have to really wedge it. Like, you hear all that? You could get her to get some, I guess, decent-ish poses. Like, another thing is they could have probably put butterflies here, but, I mean, maybe not. Hasbro's was able to do it, but not these. So that doesn't feel as satisfying as you'd figure, but let's look at this. Okay, so the head can move, which was an issue of mine with the Hasbro versions and the original Bandai versions, that the heads couldn't articulate. Yes, they need their eyes painted in because they don't have it in there either, but that's pretty much what the figure is. No, you can't make the Power Blaster either, so if you're thinking about that, forget it. Blade mode. And the actual blaster mode. Let's see. Right there. Okay, so the blaster fits in there. Let's see if she can get her arm. Yeah. I mean, if you're just gonna stand the figures, that looks alright, I guess. The hands have some give to them, so that's good. So you can open them without, like, breaking the figure. But they are snug. Like, you can hear that noise is because the figure is snugly fitting in there. But there she is. A Mighty Morphin yellow Auto Morphin Reignition figure. Oh, that's a lot to say. Right there. You've seen this a million times from a million companies. It's pretty basic. It's just two colors to the blade mode. I'm sure if somebody has a thin enough brush, they can give some black wash to the accents in gold to really make it pop. That's what you got there. And to wrap up this review, the final figure to review, right here, Billy, aka the Blue Ranger, in the Reignition line. There's his little bio there. Some information on him. He's ultra intelligent, his name, his skill set, personality, all that stuff. If you want to pause and read it right there, you're more than welcome to. This one has the flipping action in the box. This one, when I went to the store, I actually saw this. There was like 10 of them, but this was the only clean one, so that's why I got this one, because this one doesn't have any scuffs in it. So let's get them out of the plastic here. There he is. Okay, there's Billy. His legs seem to be better than what I remember from the Red Ranger legs, because they have better, I don't know, just better distance for the hinges to open out. They're a little loose, which is not great either. But so far, these figures aren't like being stellar. They're middle of the road so far. But the head can articulate. It can't rotate. Snuggly, but he actually has a pretty good likeness, but he looks more like season 2 when he took off the glasses and he found the Zordon and Alpha making the White Ranger. That's what this head reminds me of. It doesn't remind me of season 1 Billy with the glasses and the different hair before he got the blowout and, you know, got a comb. But that Trini is a little, I don't know. This is actually probably, so far, out of the 3 figures that I have, this is the best head sculpt. It's a pretty good likeness to Billy. 360 on the arms, elbow bends, hand bends, right there. You can pose with it. Hands can move. Let's see him morph. There is no paint on the head whatsoever for the eyes, again, which not an impossible fix, but you do have to do some tweaking to these figures to at least make them look not just presentable, but at least, hey, look, the helmet's got eyes. That's pretty basic. These aren't the most complex designs I've ever seen either for a costume, but there's that. The hands got swivels. Got foot articulation right there. Let's see something. So if you want to make him kick, that's about as far as he could kick out. I'll say too, if they want to keep going with this line, if they can give a little bit of clearance to the neck so it can rotate better, that'd be great. Because it can, you see? Yeah, his head is at an angle, but a little more clearance in the neck would be great. Look at the weapons, the power blaster, the power bow. exact same thing. Two little pieces here. It doesn't make the blaster, so you can forget that. But you can't turn it back into one big bow. Wish it was a little bit longer. That'd be kind of cool because it is a bow. But there he is. And I think we got a better layout of the team. Now let's bring in Red Ranger here. And here is the Tyrannosaurus. He is a little heavy in the front, so I want to take note of that. There we go, finally. I can get him to, well, let's fix one problem, another one arises. See, there's the team so far. Now let's try to put them together. You gotta press these. There. Okay, I didn't mention this, but there's this little slot thing to unhinge the feet. We're gonna see what we have so far for the there it is. That's good. There's the head. Stickers on backwards. Let's try to put them together. Yeah, I wish this had a, there it is. This is big because we'll have to keep moving the camera out. I'll fix the camera in a second. Get the saber tooth on there. Why does this not feel snug? Yeah, until I get the Mastodon to clip in, this is gonna bother the hell out of me. But that is currently what the Megazord is looking like, the Dino Megazord's looking like. Okay, put his hands down to make him look more like something. Again, so far this is coming out pretty fun line to keep working out. And thanks for joining me on another episode of Cowabunga Ranger Talk. Catch you next time.